Voices in the static. It started with the radio. Daniel wasn't even a fan of music. He liked silence. But when the electricity went out that night, silence became unbearable. He turned on his old transistor radio, the one he hadn't used in years. It crackled with static, a storm of white noise filling the small apartment. He twisted the dial, searching for a clear station, but all he found was whispering. At first, he thought it was interference. Then the whisper spoke his name. Daniel? He froze. The voice was faint, distant, like someone speaking from a deep cave. He turned the knob again, hands shaking. The voice faded, replaced by more static. But the whisper returned, closer. Don't turn it off. He dropped the radio, the sound cutting out as it hit the floor. The silence that followed was thick, too thick. He could still hear breathing, but it wasn't his. Daniel unplugged the radio and went to bed, telling himself it was just stress. But as he drifted to sleep, a faint hiss rose from his nightstand. The unplugged radio was back on. The whisper was clearer now. It wasn't just one voice. It was many, hundreds, all overlapping, murmuring words he couldn't quite understand until one stood out. Behind you. He turned instantly, but the room was empty. He laughed nervously, trying to convince himself it was a dream. Then he noticed something new. The mirror on the opposite wall was fogged up. On the glass, words appeared, written by an invisible hand. We found you. He ran from the apartment that night, sleeping in his car until morning. When he returned, everything looked normal, except for the radio. It was sitting upright on the table again, clean, and touched, and playing soft static. He tried recording it on his phone, thinking maybe he'd prove to himself he wasn't insane. But when he played the recording back, there were no whispers. Only his own voice, screaming. That was the first night he lost time. He'd wake up standing in front of the radio, his hands bleeding, his mouth whispering words he couldn't understand. Every night the voices grew louder, more demanding. Let us in, we are waiting, join the signal. He smashed the radio to pieces. But even then, the static continued, from his phone, his TV, his laptop. Every screen flickered with faint faces. Every sound carried a whisper beneath it. On the final night, his neighbor heard the static through the walls, louder than ever, when they broke in. Daniel was gone. Only the radio remained perfectly intact, playing one clear message. This is Daniel. If you can hear me, don't listen to the static. The police later found that same message broadcasting on empty radio frequencies across the city, repeating every night at exactly 3:07 a.m. No one knows where the transmission comes from. But some say, if you listen closely enough, you can still hear Daniel's voice, whispering your name through the noise.